Yo, Shalom B1.
Shalom B1.
Yo, this is Black Ice.
This is the Keys.
And welcome to the Black Narrative. This is a special episode. It's not even a live broadcast. We just want to take a moment out because we saw you want to do a special episode from an episode of Atlanta that came out last week on FX.
It was really interesting. It was, I mean, the whole season so far has been, I'll say it was a very different air to it than the last two to me.
Yeah. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care for it.
Word.
Compared to the first season. You know what I mean? Because first season, when it was a comedy, it was cool. Second season to me it was forgettable. I mean, because they went to the whole mental health thing. That was a trend at the time.
Right.
And the only episode I really cared for season 2 was the barbershop one.
Yeah, because that one was funny.
Yeah, but ever since Atlanta turned into the whole Twilight Zone type of vibe, that is not my type of genre.
And here's what I'll say, because and I had a feeling you were gonna have this angle, and I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of, when I was watching it, and it just to be completely honest, I had a lot of visceral feelings when I watched it, because it was delving into certain topics that, of course, we discuss here, but as a young black man, are very relevant. So they really did kind of dig into my emotions in a very visceral way, and it was very uncomfortable to watch certain things. And I'm not saying that that's not a good thing. The thing about it is Atlanta is supposed to be a comedy. I thought the first episode, that episode, to me, I'm not gonna lie, that was probably some of the most gut-wrenching television I've ever watched.
Yeah, it was. I think what it was is and see, that's the thing. Like, people say it's great you brought some of these things to history to light. Okay, cool.
But you're bringing it to light for white liberals.
Yeah, and that's the problem I have with the show. I feel like the show is made for white liberals. It is a show with black people in it, not a black show.
Right.
And then to me, I think he lacks he lacks a writer's room. You know what I mean? So I think you have a lot of decent ideas. I don't really care for how it's executed. You know what I mean?
Right. Because it's not as it's not. You remember the past few shows, or the seasons, I should say, were more along the lines of a journey of it was discovering the music industry. There was a theme.
Yeah.
Now I wouldn't be opposed to him having maybe a black version of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
That could be its own separate thing.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, like I said, it is not my particular genre.
Right.
And I'll tell you, if you are a fan of Atlanta, you're probably not gonna like this
discussion.
Yeah, discussion right here, because like I said, even the first episode, right? Like all the stuff you brought out in the first episode, like the history of Lake Lanier, and then the whole thing, with the white women, was based off a true story.
Not surprised.
Yeah. Did you hear about the true story of that?
No, I didn't.
Okay, yeah. There actually was a white lesbian couple.
Not surprised.
That adopted all these black kids, but in real life, the kids also died. They stayed in the van. They drove off a cliff. And then the black boy that was hugging the cop, that actually happened in real life.
Wow.
But out of all the bodies they found, they couldn't find his.
Really?
His could not be found to this day.
So that's why, I imagine that's why in the episode he was the one that escaped.
Right, like he rewrote the story. Man, but out of all that, out of all that, but to me, you kind of ruin it by the very second episode. You woke up it was all a dream next to a random white woman.
Yeah.
So the whole first episode, stay away from these white women. Then you walk up right next to one, and to me, it's a subliminal message considering, Donald Glover, how he is in real life, who he married to in real life.
Yeah, and it's a really odd thing, because first it's kind of like Get Out. You have this movie that talks about honestly the perils that black people go through living in a white world.
Yeah.
And then you see the actual person that wrote it, and he's he's fully integrated in the white world.
So someone on Twitter said, the show she said the show is just like Atlanta, because Atlanta's a black city that got gentrified, and then the show got gentrified, just like Atlanta.
That's true. And here's what I want to say too, because I would say I'm an Atlanta fan. You know, I really enjoyed the show.
Mm.
But this season was, I mean, it wasn't what I was tuning in for.
Yeah.
And you know, I like to see the show exploring I mean, because it seemed relatable. You know, the first and second season seemed relatable as, you know, people that live in Atlanta. It was very relatable. Matter of fact, I tell people that want to know what Atlanta is like, watch the show Atlanta. The first and second season, but
yeah, I really don't like the second season.
I mean, the second season was kind of there. I like the barbershop episode.
Yeah, the barbershop.
That's really the main one I can remember. Like
yeah, but the creepy one, on the mask the whole time. I didn't care for that one.
There was the alligator episode, the one with Cat Williams.
Oh yeah.
That one was strange.
Yeah. But I mean, get into what we really want to talk about is this past episode, the big payback.
That was something else.
I thought. I like what one person said. Like, I already know a lot of people on Twitter, and they know saying like, you know, as cool that was, I'd rather see the black perspective of a black person version of like building with reparations than seeing within what we saw.
Right.
I thought, you know, the timing of this episode, considering what's going on in California right now,
it's very ironic, ain't it?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, with the task force and everything, with reparations task force.
Yeah.
But to me, you know, and many black people who enjoyed the episode, I felt like it was an insult to black people. And I like the one chick said, this is some random person on Twitter was saying, she was saying, like you never see the Uwish do that with Anne Frank. They would never joke around about their reparations like that.
Right.
You know, it turned into a joke. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, your black character, your main black character is, you know, Shaniqua Johnson. You know, and they follow these ghetto tropes per se.
Yep.
They try to humanize her, but by that point, you already kind of destroyed that vibe.
Because she came up in the house, she's loud, she's talking about, this is my door, this, that, and the third, and don't slam my door, and just it was a trope, it was a stereotype.
Yeah. Now the build up to it was decent. Like, you know, the white guy Jason Bartha, I think I pronounced his name. I mean, he's a good actor. I give it. You know, he played his role. You know.
Oh yeah.
And I did like the setup of it. You know, he's just going about his morning, going to the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you hear the NPR, you know, talking about the Tesla lawsuit. Even though that particular one was made up, but in real life, Tesla went through a whole lot of lawsuits about discrimination against black people. So it's fitting, you know. And so, you know, going to, of course, you know, like I guess like you can say like a lot of white people, you know, that you may have come across, they feel like none of that affects them, and that had the attitude that you had.
Right.
So that was, to me, was realistic.
One thing that I thought was a bit interesting was that one, the big white chick, when she got her DNA results.
I know like, what do you caught that?
Yeah, she was like 67% Ashkenazi Jew, and it's like, you know how many of them own slaves?
That was the biggest thing. Like, because my thing is, that many people that bigged up that episode, me and black people who love that episode, hardly anybody caught that.
It was interesting.
It was dead center, like the 15 minute mark. It's dead center of the episode.
Right.
All of a sudden, you know, you just had to clear them.
Right.
Like you know, it's like in the contract, you can't drag the Jewish people no matter what.
And not only that, they went out there, like, because you didn't have to bring them up. You know,
had to bring up, but that was by design.
But here's the funny thing though. A brother of mine, his grandmother, and mind you, she's Jamaican. Mm-hmm. She has a Uwish last name. She ain't got a drop of Ashkenazi blood in her. It's because that's what her slave master's last name was. Wow. So it goes to show that they not only did they own slaves, they were all over with it.
Yeah. You gotta think about it. A lot of people don't realize, like, if they own the banks now, who owned the banks then? Exactly. They ain't pay for those ships cash. They had to get financed through a bank. Mm-hmm. So who financed the ships? Yeah. Who owned the auctions? Yeah. You know, you see a lot of interesting which last names on auction posters. Right. You know, they never mentioned about the 10,000 that fought for the Confederacy during the Civil War. And
that was just the 10,000 that fought.
That's false. Like, so it was even more that just living in the South, taking advantage of what was going on. Exactly. They never stood up against slavery in America. Right. Never. You know. Right. And then you ain't had to go that far back. Who wrote, like, you see how they dragged us in the music industry? Mm-hmm. The media.
Where they use us.
Yeah. Like, so it's like, they all had to wash their hands of everything, and like they had this moral high ground. Right. And I'm like, a few people on Twitter called it, but I was like, but a lot of us didn't, and man, that was sad, because they really think like, oh, their hands are really clean. No.
Matter of fact, Even at one point, when the person was like, "Oh, Nordic," it's like,
yeah,
you know how many of them had their hands in the slave trade as well.
Yeah, well, that's why she was pissed though, because she was like, "I'm 100% Nordic." You're purebred.
You know, but you got to think of even the Dutch. I know they're more I know they're Germanic, but you start to get over in that area, and I think I feel like the Danes were somewhat colonial, but that might be a different thing. But at the end of the day, they still funded the trade. All the countries in Europe were part of, or most of the countries in Europe had a hand in the slave trade.
Yeah. So that's the main thing that rubbed me the wrong way. Like that really pissed me off more than anything else, because I was like, I don't care. Well, that was one of the main things. It was two things that pissed me off about this episode, but that was definitely one of them, because like the main people that oppressed us, you just wash their hands as if they had nothing to do with it, and black people just accepting this as a fact, which is bad. And then they're also the ones that misled our people during the civil rights movement.
Exactly.
They also misled us during the Black Lives Matter movement.
Right.
They had their hands in all these things,
and they keep misleading us.
And the war that's going on right now.
Yes.
Over Russia and Ukraine, they had their hands in that too.
Exactly.
So like, there's no keep washing their hands. They love throwing rocks in their hands. So that's one part. The second part that really upset me about this episode is like a lot of black people really feel like that's going to happen when you get reparations here.
Man,
that would really upset me, because like
when I saw that ending scene where they're all at a restaurant, like, and you're zooming out, and it was just a bunch of black folk at this nice restaurant, and these white people serving them, but at the end of the day, the white folk are still controlling the country.
Like we already got history already.
Yeah.
Like every time we built our own, like Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Rosewood, Auburn Avenue, like the many places that we built up on our own. Did they leave us alone, or did they get angry and try to take it?
Right.
Every time violence ensued.
And shoot, you saw how upset the dude got before. And it was interesting because the guy that spoke to him in the end of the episode, the redneck, was the same one that was talking to the black guy.
And the Lake Lanier.
Yeah.
I didn't know that till I read up on it.
Yeah, but it was interesting because I mean, he was the one that knew about the whole the city under Lake Lanier, so it seemed like this character knew a good bit. I mean, of course, it was a fictional character, but it seemed like his character knew a good bit about the history of America when it came to black folk. And then he was the one that was like, oh, this is fine. This is their retribution. Goes in the back and blows his brains out.
That was wild.
Yeah.
So and then I'm pretty sure a lot of people rooted for that part too. But I think I just hate the whole misconception thinking that it's gonna be. White people are never known to peacefully hand over power.
Definitely,
they don't do that.
Give me an example.
Right, like, so you really think they're gonna give us all this money, and then they just gonna be okay with it? They don't sit there, like you said, they'll just go clock in, work at a restaurant, and pay restitution tax.
You know what I mean? And then on top of it, even in the beginning when it talked about the whole thing with the Tesla company being sued, and they're like, oh, they're paying X amount millions of dollars. And the guy was like, well, I mean, it's really not going to hurt them. They have money.
Yeah.
So if the people at the top even had to pay a certain amount of restitution, of reparation, at the end of the day, they're not going to be affected. They're still going to hold on to their power.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be giving our money back into their economy.
And they never play fair.
No.
Like
never, definitely
like
not.
I can see they so evil. I seen them like, okay, we're going to give out cash reparations. Saying give you millions of dollars of cash and just change the currency overnight.
Tank it.
And just tank it until your money worth nothing.
Yep.
But like, we gave you reparation though. You wanted money, then we gave it to you.
Yeah.
Like these type of tactics, I wouldn't be surprised they used.
And that's the thing. And that's another thing too, is they're when it comes to being sly, they will ask you 3 times, do you want it in cash? Yes. Do you want it in cash? Yes. Do you want it in cash? Yes. Okay, cool. And then they're gonna confirm it. Get it in writing, confirm it, give you cash, and then tank it.
Yeah, like we see them take the dollar before if they want to,
and they'll say, "Hey, you want it in cash? We asked you multiple times. You want it in cash?
Yeah.
So we gave you cash and we tanked it."
Yeah. So this is one of the things, like, and not saying that the reparations won't happen, because we said over and over again, the reparations will happen, but it would not be a peaceful change of power.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Don't think it'll be that Dave Chappelle episode. They get, all the black people get all this money, and then it'll be a one big power shift, and everything's fine and dandy, and
Right.
that's not how it works.
And another thing too is, I mean, like for instance, they had it on a person by person basis, right?
Mhm.
And the reason they did that, of course, was because they're like, oh, well, your ancestors were direct slave owners of their ancestors, so you have to pay them. And oh, I'm wiped out. It's a personal issue. The problem is, this wasn't a person by person thing. This was a systematic thing that fed the. It wasn't just, oh, this one person had slaves and he was just good. No, the economy.
Yeah, because not all white people well off.
Exactly.
Some people blew up their wealth. Some got nothing at all.
Yeah.
So, like you said, they made a person going on a person by person basis, and you got somebody who's just dead broke, living in a trailer park, methed out,
right?
And you're not getting anything,
Exactly.
And
you see how they and that's the thing. I mean, of course, this is a fictional episode, but even that idea of offloading it in that way takes the responsibility once again from not only America but the West as a whole. Yeah. Because not only did slavery power a country like America, as well as other countries that had slaves, there was an international slave trade. Yeah. It was a transatlantic slave trade. So slaves were like any other produce, where they're being shipped around and they're being traded for cotton and wines and all these different things. And one country's making money off of the slave product of this crop and that crop. Mm-hmm. So it was a whole entire trade. It was a very complex thing, and multiple countries profited. And it wouldn't even be fair to just say this family has to pay $3 million to that family, and that be that. $3 million isn't enough. So in a realistic, truly just reparations scenario, the whole entire country would be wiped out.
Somebody else made
financially.
Somebody else made a good point too. They was thinking like you said, we had the $5 Indian situation.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna prevent them from doing the same thing as our reparations. But when the white person said, well, I'm mixed, or I'm 20% black, I should get reparations.
Though you already know. You already know.
So so many. It's so many layers to it, what I mean? So it's like, but I just feel like the episode gave a false, to me, giving black people a false sense of security when it happens. And all I'm saying is when it does happen, because I'm not saying it's not going to happen, when it does happen, you got to have your candy bar ready. Because I don't see it being a peaceful transfer at all. Because America, only reason it's funny, a lot of people are like, oh, I will never leave. I don't want to leave here because our people built this place. I'm not going to leave here.
Right.
And like, okay, you can stay here if you like. But you realize that the only reason the America is where it's at right now because they in power.
You're right.
If we were to take over this place as is, it will fall.
Right.
You really don't want no parts of it. So it's built on an evil foundation. You can't turn the righteous.
You have a country that's built on literally
pure
thousands
and atrocities.
Native American and black blood is the amount of graves that this country is built on, of people that were killed violently, and you want to build on top of that, and of course, we have the argument, oh, but we built it. You were captive. You building it was not your choice. Your ancestors did not they didn't want to build America. They had no say in the matter.
Yo, did we build pyramids and still left?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't try to, we built this. We were staying here. We're gonna move in.
The pyramids look dang nice. We're gonna fight the Egyptians for to keep this infrastructure that we were forced to build for them.
Yeah. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just feel like we had to get that false narrative out, because to me it's not gonna play out like that. And I really feel like I had a train of thought and I just lost it. I hate that.
We were talking about the reparations, people, the fact that we built the country and people just didn't want to stay. A lot of us want to stay. Nobody wants to separate.
Yeah, right. They don't realize that capitalism is based. The foundation, capitalism cannot work without evil.
Yeah.
So like, a lot of people don't want to leave because they like the capitalist way of life, but they don't realize it's built upon overworking and underpaying you.
Exactly.
So you try and change, because first of all, white people they're not gonna lend over their power to where black people gonna be dominant society. They're just not gonna let that happen.
Never.
Like that's why they all get tokenism. Supreme Justice Brown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they give tokens. You know what I mean?
They give you a pacifier and tell you suck on that.
Yeah, they never give you any real power. So for them to think that we can vote vote ourselves out of oppression,
right?
Or that we can vote ourselves in power, that's not how it works.
It is absolutely preposterous.
And you know we've been beaten down so much, thinking like, oh yeah, we can make peace with them. They're gonna do right by us and give us what they deserve, and they're not going to do that.
That's having faith in white mommy and white daddy.
Yeah,
they're not your parents. We gotta separate.
You still would be friends with the enemy. You know what I mean? So I don't. Because my thing is, I know what I was going with. So I was talking to one person about reparations online, and they were talking about we want land, we want free schooling, free healthcare, tax free this. And so I simply asked, well, that's what you desire? And he got pissed at me. He's like, I don't understand that silly question. And I was like, yo, I didn't know people got different, a different vision what reparations is.
Right.
But for all stuff that you're stating, and all that long list he posted that he wanted for reparations.
It sounds like going to Europe. Seriously.
Like he didn't say nothing about having the power to govern yourself.
Right.
You still want to operate under the white supremacy.
And that's one. And it's not going to be. I mean, a lot of people are going to be upset by the statement, but a lot of us are not comfortable being away from white society. That's just a fact. That is a serious fact that a lot. Right. Because we don't want to be cut from the umbilical cord of white society to the point where we're wanting to have free schools and free healthcare and free this and free that. It's like, yo, Europe, are you serious? And even they treat their blacks horribly. So what does that matter?
So you're still under the exact same damn system.
And then they're going to find a way to undermine you.
Yeah,
that.
Because I saw another broadcast. They did a broadcast right after one of the hearings with the task force.
Yeah.
And we also need once we get our reparations, we need a bill to protect us. I like the law don't protect you now.
You got to be kidding me. So you're gonna get the reparations and then a reparations bill to protect you, and even on the topic of free education, the public school system, free education. What do? They undercut the black schools to the point where the textbooks are falling apart.
But even worse than that, you're getting taught by the enemy.
Exactly.
How would I want that? Like David Banner said, you never see English people go to German schools.
Never.
They don't let the Germans teach their kids. They teach their own kids.
Yeah.
Why we don't have the same mentality?
Exactly. But we not.
We volunteer our kids up to the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to separate.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be a problem. So I was like, like you say, if you like the episode, I know you're not going to like this. I still want to hear your thoughts in the comments.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Positive or negative. I'm open.
We always push open discussion.
Yeah, but to me, that would just say the biggest thing I want to show. So I had that the whole episode of look who wrote it.
No.
That's the writer. She is the sole writer of the episode. Right. Wow. So now you see now you got a face to the writer, right? And you go back and watch the episode with this Taniqua and the tropes.
Because and all the names were still because
the extra ghetto, like they had a cookout in front of the house,
right?
Playing Keith Sweat,
Yeah,
they had the megaphone loud and ghetto, the whole ghetto mentality.
And
she wrote that.
I noticed that they used two Jamals because when Shanique was talking about, Jamal's gonna like this, I think that's what she said, and then there was another person named Jamal, and I'm like, how many Jamals are there?
Yeah, that whole Reparation Black show.
Yeah,
she wrote it.
Wow.
She is the sole writer.
And we're praising it.
Yep.
Wow.
So now you go back and watch it, and then and that's why I said Atlanta is a show for white liberals. And now you see who's writing it.
And it's funny because I feel like the reparations episode was not written for us. It wasn't written to give us any kind of semblance of peace or anything like that. No. The episode was written to try to get whites on board with reparations and to allow them to make peace with the fact that the blacks are coming. We're coming and we're gonna take over everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? That was you were really accurate when you said like Twilight Zone, because to them that was their episode of the Twilight Zone. That was like
that was it's their perspective how they will imagine going down. But and, realistically, they're not that peaceful.
Right, and on top of it, shoot, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like she might have been writing that episode from the recesses of her nightmares. Seriously.
Yeah. So it's directed by I think Donald Glover's brother. And Donald Glover's the creator, but I always look at the writer. I look at all the credits, and I saw her name, Francesca Sloan. I was like, okay, that's not a black name. So I looked it up, and I was like, okay. And after seeing her face, like that's why I felt the way I felt. Because she wrote it from her perspective. It did not come from a black perspective. Yeah. And it didn't come from a realistic perspective. Because my thing, because to me, what made Get Out so big of a movie, because we could see that happening. Yes. Yeah. Like to me, the true horror of Reparations showing what will really happen. Yeah, it would be chaos in the streets. Yes, it would be it wouldn't be peaceful, and the white guy go ahead and get a massage job as a waiter. Yeah, hell no, no. Show the real one. Show what really would happen. It would be fights in the street. It would be riots.
Yeah, and there would be whole entire uprisings. And not only that, here's the thing: when you go to a white man, and even though they've done this across the world, if you go to a white man, you say, "I'm going to take everything from you. I'm going to take, I'm a cause it so that you're not able to sustain your family, and you're not going to be on top anymore." They will start to get desperate, and I mean and you'll see Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers will get his Glock. You'll be like, "Whoa!"
When they get desperate, they get dangerous. Yes, even more dangerous.
Right. Yeah, and even the ones that are moderate, even the ones that are on the left, they'll start getting extreme when they feel like we're getting too close to their position in society.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't take it biblically. When the Israelites get their reparations from Egypt, what did Egyptians do? Like at first they're like, "Oh yeah, y'all can go." Yeah. And they're like, "Nah, you took out. Nah, we want that. We want all that back.
We want all that back, and then we want y'all back."
Yeah. Right. Chase them down in the desert. Right. And then in order to be free, what had to happen to them? They had to die.
Exactly.
So I ain't saying go out in the street cause a ruckus or anything. I'm just saying let's be realistic of how this thing is gonna play out, and be prepared for it. Because you saying you're thinking that they're gonna hand you a big check and you gonna go and everything, your life gonna be quote unquote normal.
Right. You're just gonna be having unlimited dinners at Ruth's Chris.
Right. Right. No. You get power. You got to fight to protect it. Yep. I don't want people to know the true cost and be prepared to pay it. Exactly. This is all about. We're not here to deny getting it. We're just saying what the cost really going to be.
Because I feel like sometimes, and everybody does it. You have you've got to be a planner. You've got to think ahead, and you got to think of every scenario. Especially the ones that you don't want to think about, because those are the ones that will take you off guard.
I feel like this whole episode could have been a war move. Like this soften, this soften up black people, getting them comfortable. Yeah. Right before they strike.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, Donald Glover. Yeah, I mean, the dude's skin folk. We see how he moves.
Family. Yeah. We see his family. Yeah. Yeah, like not really for us,
I mean, shoot. I mean, the episode with the two white dykes, The episode right afterwards. Yeah, he wakes up right by a white woman.
Yeah. So it's like that to me. That was a slap in the face of that first episode. Yeah. Like but we saw it play out. But yeah, we don't want to hold y'all long. We just want to give our perspective, our input. I thought it was really important considering the a lot of topics of discussion about reparations right now.
Right, and for that to come out.
Yeah,
and here's another thing too, because you've got to consider predictive programming is a thing, and they do plan things out at certain times for certain reasons. So just be mindful of that, because I really think that it is very ironic. It's just a very big coincidence to me. That you have the reparation proceedings going on in California, and then you get this episode of the Twilight Zone written by Francesca Sloan, right around this time.
Yeah, that's something else.
So I just think that's interesting. Just watch out for that.
Yeah. So I appreciate y'all watching this. Definitely like, share, subscribe. Definitely let us know what your thoughts in the comments.
Yes, please.
Good or bad.
Yeah.
You know, hey, we want the smoke. It's all good. And, you know, we got discussions and give us what your view or reparations would look like to you. So, I mean, that'd be good to know as well. But, yo, just anything else you want to add?
Just please stay vigilant, family.
All right, get y'all on the next broadcast. Shalom, be one.
Shalom, be one.